Hello and welcome back to another video on the JJ Think Tank. I've got another short story for you, written by the one and only Mr. H.P. Lovecraft. And this short story is called Ex Oblivione. Ex Oblivione. When the last days were upon me, and the ugly trifles of existence began to drive me to madness, like the small drops of water that torturers let fall ceaselessly upon one spot of their victim's body, I loved the irradiate refuge of sleep. In my dreams I found a little of the beauty I had vainly sought in life, and wandered through old gardens and enchanted woods. Once, when the wind was soft and scented, I heard the south calling, and sailed endlessly and languorously under strange stars. Once, when the gentle rain fell, I glided in a barge down a sunless stream under the earth till I reached another world of purple twilight, iridescent arbours, and undying roses. And once I walked through a golden valley that led to shadowy groves and ruins, and ended in a mighty green wall with antique vines and pierced by a little gate of bronze. Many times I walked through the valley, and longer would I pause in the spectral half-light where the giant trees squirmed and twisted grotesquely, and the grey ground stretched damply from trunk to trunk, sometimes disclosing the mould-stained stones of buried temples. And always the goal of my fancies was the mighty vine-grove wall with the little gate of bronze therein. After a while, as the days of waking became less and less bearable from their greyness and sameness, I would often drift in opiate peace through the valley and the shadowy groves, and wonder how I might seize them for my eternal dwelling place, so that I need no more crawl back to a dull world stripped of interest and new colours. And as I looked upon the little gate in the mighty wall, I felt that beyond it lay a dream country from which, once it was entered, there would be no return. So each night in sleep I strove to find the hidden latch of the gate in the ivied antique wall, though it was exceedingly well hidden, and I would tell myself that the realm beyond the wall was not more lasting merely, but more lovely and radiant as well. Then, one night, in the dream city of Zakorion, I found a yellowed papyrus filled with the thoughts of dream sages who dwelt of old in that city, and who were too wise ever to be born in the waking world. Therein were written many things concerning the world of dream, and among them was lore of a golden valley and a sacred grove with temples, and a high wall pierced by a little bronze gate. When I saw this lore, I knew that it touched on the scenes I had haunted, and I therefore read long in the yellowed papyrus. Some of the dream sages wrote gorgeously of the wonders beyond the irrepassable gate, but others told of horror and disappointment. I knew not which to believe, yet longed more and more to cross forever into the unknown land. For doubt and secrecy are the lure of lures, and no new horror can be more terrible than the daily torture of the commonplace. So when I learned of the drug which would unlock the gate and drive me through, I resolved to take it when next I awaked. Last night I swallowed the drug and floated dreamily into the golden valley and the shadowy groves. And when I came this time to the antique wall, I saw that the small gate of bronze was ajar. From beyond came a glow that weirdly lit the giant twisted trees and the tops of the buried temples, and I drifted on songfully, expectant of the glories of the land from whence I should never return. But as the gate swung wider, and the sorcery of drug and dream pushed me through, I knew that all sights and glories were at an end. For in that new realm was neither land nor sea, but only the white void of unpeopled and illimitable space. So happier than I had ever dared hoped to be, I dissolved again into that native infinity of crystal oblivion from which the daemon life had called me for one brief and desolate hour. That is the end. It's the end of Ex Oblivione by the genius H.P. Lovecraft. Howard Phillips Lovecraft. As I was reading that story, actually two thoughts came into my mind. So one thought was a scene from Gladiator. So there is this scene in Gladiator when Russell Crowe is dreaming of his family. So he's dreaming of his wife and his children, and he's walking through the meadows, touching the grass, and in the distance he sees a gate, some form of gate, I believe, and within that perimeter, within that space beyond the gate, lies his wife with his children. I think something like this. A scene from the Gladiator, the first Gladiator, the original one, the best one, when Russell Crowe was still quite a young actor. Yes, I don't know. That thought popped into my mind, and then another thought. When Lovecraft was talking about the trees. Yes. So I read another bit of science fiction recently, written by the Strugatsky brothers. So the Strugatsky brothers were Russian science fiction writers. They were brothers who wrote a lot of science fiction together, and one story that they wrote was called "The Snail on the Slope," and this is about the difference we find in the forest as opposed to the city, and it's kind of a metaphysical analysis, we could say, of how the worlds are totally different. The world of the forest is completely different to the world of the city, with all its concrete and everything. So that thought came into my mind as well as I was reading that short story by Howard Phillips Lovecraft. So yes, that's the end of my video for today. I hope you enjoyed my rendition of this short story by H.P. Lovecraft. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help me grow the channel. If you like the video even more, consider donating at Buy Me a Coffee. I'll provide a link in the description. And yes, that's all for tonight. If you're watching this at bedtime, I wish you pleasant dreams and take care. Good night.